Isn't it a little esoteric?
We sippin' on that pango. That's that pineapple and mango. Shorty says she like my lingo. I think she wanna drink, I think so. Grab your cup. That's that pineapple and mango. Shorty says she like my lingo. I think she wanna drink, I think so.
I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 million every week. I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 billion every week. I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire, I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire, I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 billion every week. I ain't gonna be a billionaire.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. I am your host, Jonni Vegaz. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat, so take some notes. Oh my God, this has got to be one of the biggest guests that this show's ever seen. I said one of, so out of respect to all my other guests. This man is a legend in the fashion industry, a legend in hip hop, a legend in sports. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeff Hamilton. How you doing, King? I know your hands messed up, man. But
Thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate that.
Oh man, you've been very, just influential to a lot of people in my community and just in hip hop in general and fashion, man. I mean, you've been around since you stood the test of time with everything that you do, and that's one thing I'm happy to say that I'm proud of you of, because it's like, the industries went up and down from the 90s to now, and you just kind of been doing your thing, coasting through it, weathering the storm, man. And I mean, how proud of you of yourself are you?
It's not about pride. It's just about staying the course and living your passion and living your dreams and just being able to always being creative and the result is that if there is a contribution to the culture is amazing. It was not by design. My design was my idea was, let me do the best. Let me try to maximize my ideas and try just to live the best of my life.
And that's exactly what you're doing, man. I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad. I see everything you're doing here. You guys can't see it, but I can. I mean, just look. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So tell me, Jeff. When did you, as little as you can remember, from when you were young, when did you fall in love with art itself?
I really was not into art. I mean, I was like, as a kid, I was painting and doing different things like that, but I really was not thinking of being an artist. I would never thought about becoming a designer. My whole background was math and physics. I mean, I was just more like my dream was to become a CPA when I was growing up, and
Wow.
so I was like really good in numbers and math and different things. And then I was born in Africa, and I moved
Morocco,
to Morocco. And then North Africa. Then I moved to France when I was 10 years old, and I'm a French citizen. So and I grew up in France and did all my studies in France, and then I started realizing the American dream. I mean, I loved America. Didn't want to be living in France, as beautiful as Paris is, and beautiful environment. I really wanted to kind of love basketball. I love music. I love rock and roll. I love clothing. I love everything about it. Never thought that I was going to become a designer or anything like that. But when I was 19 years old, I got married very young. And when I was 24 years old, I was married with a wife and 2 kids. And I decided to make the move and just to come to America. And so I moved. I had $6,000 put away after I sold everything that I had, and upset it. Everybody got upset with me. The whole family. You're going in. It's going to be a failure. You have no money. How are you going to be able to do it? And I didn't care. I mean, did he speak English? I was not. I was completely illegal. Didn't have visas. I mean, came as a tourist and I stayed.
Wow.
And then I started hustling and going up the streets and down the streets and trying to buy from this guy, selling from the other guy, and it developed in me starting to make a little money for my family and very modest living. And I started doing a little bit better. And in 1982, I met some people, and they had founded just a company, just started a company, and I offered them to do the menswear for them. They
And this is Guess you're talking about.
This is Guess jeans. Yes. This is Guess jeans. So they offered me to do men's. They offered me to work for them. I didn't want to work for anybody, so I offered them to take the license for the menswear. So ultimately, I was. Fast forward to 1983, I was the first licensee of Guess jeans ever. The whole group of the company was $2 million at the time.
Wow.
So I started the company. At that time, I already had $22,000 to be precise to start the company. And started the company, everything became magical after that.
Yeah.
I started in January 83. By April 1983, I was doing $17,000 a month. By August, I was doing $170,000. By January, a year later, I was doing $600,000 a month. A year later, after that, I was doing $5 million a month, and taking the company took the company to $75 million a year within 3 years, within 2.5 years.
Start your day with 10K in the morning, exclusively on the Clubhouse app.
You know what it is. It's 10K in the morning, every morning. We rocking out right here with me. The #1 platform for independent artists with highest engagement. We got the livest interviews. We got celebrity guests. Oh yeah, them green light performances, out of here. Oh, those exclusive records we dropping, out of here. We got some of the hottest artists you ever gonna hear. We got some of the best performances you ever gonna see. This is the show, 10K in the morning, every morning, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Started exclusively on the Clubhouse app. And you know what I'm doing, the right way, the only way, is 10K. Hello!
Who don't want to start the day with 10K?
Stop right there. Now, congratulations on that. Now, what were you doing? I guess, what was the strategy behind that success? You know what I mean? It wasn't just Jeff Hamilton came on board and then boom. Like, what were the steps that you were taking to make that a success?
It's only God blessings. I mean, there is no explanation how everything works. I mean, for me, there is, and I'll say that as a general opinion that I have of success, or if there was a motivational kind of quote that I think of, there is 4 ways to succeed. There's 4 elements for success.
Okay.
To be successful, you only need 3 of the 4. Okay. So one of them, everybody has it. You have to work hard. So working hard, I was working from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night every day, till they kicked me out of my building because the building was closing. And I was out there a quarter to 6 before the building opened, because I had a 400 square feet space when I started. Ultimately, I moved 9 times within the next 18 months to over 100,000 square feet, about 400 square feet. So from 1 employee, I had 400 employees. Okay. So number 1, work hard. So that's not everybody has the ability to do that.
Right.
Number 2, work smart. Meaning, like, you don't, be careful. Make sure you don't make mistakes. Don't run all the time. Just walk and try to make sure that you're making the right decision, and do something, finish it the right way. Number 3, that not everybody has, but everybody has it somewhat. Have a talent. So I discovered myself that I was quote unquote talented as a designer. I never knew I had it in me. Because I had good taste in clothing. I never had designed clothing in my life till I started Guess jeans. Yeah. And I designed out of necessity, because I didn't have a designer, and I just said, how am I going to design a line? I went through my closet and I picked up some stuff. So to go back to the elements of success, so everybody, without exception, even the poor bums in the street, they have a talent. Whatever the talent, they have to uncover their own talent. And that talent is you have to maximize it. So now, if you have the 3 elements and you live your life through that, you're going to be successful. Now, if you have the God's blessing
Right.
and you get luck, then you have the full blown package.
Right.
And I've had a lot of luck in my life. Like when I told you, when I started my business was magical, and I work hard, and I think I work smart, and not that smart sometimes, but I think I had talent in a way, because I had a vision that maybe other people didn't see. To be in the fashion business, in order to be unique, in order to be successful, you have to be unique. Yeah, you cannot go out and create everything that everybody else does. You can copy everybody else, and you can be some business, but to create a name and to create an identity, you have to be very unique. And so I have been showered with blessings of luck, and considering the fact that I try to apply the first three elements. And this is my motto: if you have those four things and you live by those rules, you're always going to be above water.
Right.
So that's kind of like when I started Geshin, I didn't know nothing about accounting. I knew about accounting. I didn't know nothing about designing. I didn't know nothing about production. I didn't know about hard work teaches you everything that you need to do. And that's kind of like what I did.
No, that's a big fact. Okay. And I know you said a lot of the four keys about success, and not many people possess them, but if you got 3 out of the 4, you're pretty much golden. So with that being said, I know it wasn't just a straight shot to the top. So what are some of the pitfalls that you went through and future fashion designers should look out for?
Well, probably the second point. Work smart. Make sure you're always surrounded with the right people. It's very hard. Myself, I come from a family of love and trust, and when you come to a new country like I did in America, I was very naive, and I had a lot of people that success triggers jealousy and envy.
Yeah.
And people take it. A lot of people are very entitled. Unfortunately, that's the culture we live in. You turn on TV, you see people, the rappers and the athletes and the movie stars making all those cars and the money, and you think that it comes in easy, and it takes a lot of work. So when you do that, I always tell the story. I say, listen, I work 15 hours a day. I really can say that I work 365 days a year.
Right.
Like Sunday night, I was up to 4 o'clock in the morning. At 7 o'clock, I was here at my office.
Right.
But it pays off. So you work 365 days a year, 15 hours a day. You on top of everything that you do, you try to be as ethical and consistent that you want to do in your business. Yet you go out and people see you with a nice watch or a nice car, say, wow, oh, Jeff, you're so lucky. I say, I've been doing it for like 41 years.
Right.
I've been in this country for 41 years, working my ass off and building up as much as I can. And
that's not luck. That's work.
That's luck.
That's work.
That's work. That's dedication and knowing, reaching for the stars and try to go on and realizing your dreams. So a lot of people are very resentful. People want to get the shortcuts. So that's.
No, I hear you, man. And I feel the same way, definitely like when I was young, it took a while for me to decide what it was that I wanted to do and live my talent or my dreams out through that. So, once I narrowed down what it is that I wanted to do, then it became much easier, on how to get there, because now I weeded out everything else that I wasn't good at or that was just, a distraction, so definitely I completely agree with you 100% on that. Now, I know during these times has been a bit interesting with the COVID pandemic and stuff like that.
Not for me.
And I was just going to ask, did that affect your business at all?
Not for me. I'm going to tell you one thing. And again, that might shock some people. Myself, I believe 100% COVID. I believe that's a pandemic that we all suffered greatly. Probably was our leaders mishandled it. But myself, I said, you know what? The way I look at it is, a lot of people look at it and they said, 80% of the people that look at the pandemic look at it and said, you know what? We're going to wait and see. We're going to wait for our priest, our rabbi, our imam, our president, our political leaders to tell us what to do. So we're going to stand by and wait while we collect unemployment checks.
Right.
So that's 80% of it.
Right.
15% of the people said, you know what? It's gloom and doom. It's the end of the world. The whole world's going to fall apart. I'm going to go myself in a corner. I'm going to drink. I'm going to eat. I'm going to get depressed.
Right.
And
Drowning
who
my
knows?
sorrows.
I believe that I'm not going to work out outside. I'm going to do nothing. Myself, I said, you know what? I'm looking at it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity for when everybody's sleeping, when they're going to wake up a year from now, 6 months, 2 years from now, I'm going to start running or walking.
Yeah.
When they wake up, I'll be up 2,000 miles ahead of them.
Exactly.
And that's basically what I did. Mind you, I was, I'm taking care of my mom. She's 88 years old. So I'm very conscious about health and I just kept my mask on. I did everything that I had to do. I did as soon as I could get a test. I started doing a test once a week. I said I could get the vaccines. I got my vaccine.
Awesome.
Thank God I never got COVID. And I was the only one who probably was still traveling and doing all the work that I did while everybody was at home watching TV and lamenting themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I looked at it as an opportunity rather than, always take the negative as a, like another cliche. Always look at the glass half full rather than half empty.
Right. Be optimistic.
Be optimistic and go for it. That's it. Yeah. So that combined with a lot of other elements that made me happen, that's really why my company probably grew. I grew faster in the last 6 months than I've grown in the last 15 years.
Wow.
I mean,
That's awesome.
coupled with a lot of different new trends that obviously, a lot of rappers writing songs about me. My Instagram, that basically people realizing that, obviously the unfortunate passing of our dear Kobe Bryant, where people suddenly realize that the young generation looking at it and said, what is, who made those jackets? Well, they're familiar with the jacket, but they never realized. Now Instagram, now they see who did it. So the new generation, the 20-year-old kids that they were barely born when Kobe was winning this championship, they didn't know about Jeff Hamilton. Suddenly there is the awareness of that. The Michael Jordan documentary, when I'm all over the documentary with Michael and the jackets and A$AP Rocky supporting me. And then, of course, ultimately, LeBron winning the championship. That basically, I made the perfect hat trick where I had Michael, Kobe and LeBron, presumably like maybe not the three greatest players, which very arguably I would say they are, but some people might not. But the three most iconic players in the history of the game, and the culture. So for me, it was important. So it was kind of like the perfect storm, because the last 7, 8, 10 years I had not been doing nothing but art and things like that. But it was not like, it wasn't there. And it suddenly started clicking and people started realizing my footprint on what I did for the culture over the years. And I'm very flattered that people put me in there, because it's not like, I just started 6 months ago in business. I mean, when you look through my Instagram, then you start looking and you say, well, I did something 30 years ago for Nelson Mandela.
Right.
And I did Michael Jackson, and I did Madonna, and I did George Michael, and I did Kid and Play and Martin, and way before we talking about Young Thug and Migos, so
they probably weren't even born yet.
For sure they were not, without a doubt. The majority of Lil Yachty and A$AP Rocky and all those guys were not even born, but they realized. And all the Latin stars. I mean, I just was on the phone just now with Anuel. I'm doing Anuel, J Balvin. So for me, it's a crossover that really makes me so happy, because at the stage of the game for me right now, this is a business, of course. We all want to make money. We want to get the fruit of our labors. But it's not necessarily my priority, and it's very hard for young people to understand that the motivation in life is not all about money. It's very hard, because I could not understand it when I was young. It was all about the money. You sacrifice everything,
But you can't take it with you.
You cannot take it with you. So, but it's not more important for me right now at this stage. Is listen. Don't get me wrong. I need my bills to get paid. I need to have money. I love my comfort. I love my cars. I love my traveling. But really, the reality is, there's another element that you want to do is your legacy. The way people are going to look at you when you're gone, or when you're still alive. When people look at you, the respect that people could give you for the influence that you've had on the culture. For instance, for me, it's like so important for me to do that. So, like for instance, right now I'm working on the 75th greatest players in the NBA.
Okay.
I did the 50 greatest players in the NBA. Now I got the contract for the 75th greatest players. See, it's not how much money you're going to be making on that. It's just to know that I did the 50 greatest players. Now I'm going to be doing 75 greatest players. It's just so important for to be part of projects like that. Right. It's just, again, money is so important, but it's not important when it comes to that.
Right, because your name on it as the designer is gonna carry itself further. You know what I'm saying? Having that credit, and that's how it is kind of in the acting world. I do some acting as well, and just having that credit as a producer or executive producer, whatever the case may be, just lasts so much longer and brings forth more opportunities when everyone else sees that project. So, I totally agree with you 100% on that. Okay, so tell me, who are some of the people that like other fashion designers that you may spark some creativity out of you, that you look up to?
I mean,
and it could be now or back then.
Not that in my style is necessarily that, but but for me, the greatest one of all the designers by far, Ralph Lauren. So I mean, for me is my king as far as a fashion designer. I look up to him. I mean, he's just a legend for me, and the most amazing one. But listen, I love all the designers have talent. That whether it's my designs are very different from any of those guys. So I don't really. That's where my success has come. Is that I have my own lane. I mean, some people try to copy me, but they cannot copy me.
They can't.
Because it's so much, forget about the love and effort. It's very hard to copy that. Right. It's all handmade. It's all hand staged. So it's kind of like building jewelry. That sounds pretentious, but that's why the jackets are so expensive. And thank God, because of the work I've carried over the last 35 years, we're able to get the prices for that. But it's not like we're making a fortune, but we're delivering a product very unique, So I love Tom Ford. I love, I love all the designers. I mean, I'm not, everybody has amazing talent. I mean, listen, I love Nike. I love Mitchell & Ness. I love a lot of the other brands that are creative, So I appreciate everything that they bring to the table. Everybody has their own mix, but I love all the French brands, the Balenciagas and the Balmain, the Gucci's and the Dior's. I mean, for me, it's just all. I study all that
enjoy
stuff.
art.
I love it. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. See,
Louis Vuitton. I mean, I just love it. I mean, especially since Virgil is on board and what the work he's done, it's just so spectacular. For me, it's just something I definitely look up to.
Right, and I know you're an artist as well. What are your thoughts on the whole craze behind NFTs? Will we see a Jeff Hamilton collection NFT out there? Or
there is. We're dabbling in the space, and we have a lot of projects in the thing. But right now it's a little bit premature to really know and to see there is a scripted a strategy to it. I'm working with a couple of group of people, and we're putting it, because one of the things that we do, especially the fact that I'm in the art world, and I own an art expo in Los Angeles, and I had my own art gallery in Beverly Hills, and I'm also like doing every single jacket I make is all signed, and I pretty much market them as a piece of art, Right. So and the fact that we're doing unique pieces, one of a kind, and so on and so forth, it really just directs us directly to the NFT space, which is natural because we have so much content for the last 35 years, So, but we're only dabbling with it right now. We'll see how that thing goes. I mean, I believe it's here to stay. I believe there's a big future. I don't think that people can have put their arms around it yet. I think there was a lot of hype where people paid a lot of crazy prices, but it's the price are going to be adjusting. Just same way with crypto.
Right.
People, you cannot sell something, oversell something that doesn't have the value to it. You only can sell what it's worth, So
Right.
and we'll establish the right worth at some point in time.
Yeah. Okay. I heard you mention crypto and that you invest in crypto.
No, I don't. I don't believe in it.
No, why not?
No, I truly believe in crypto in long term and different things. I believe it's going to be the money of the future without a doubt. I mean, but at this stage, I mean, I'm investing in my business.
Right, of course, you're reinvesting in
I
yourself.
invest in my business. I mean, that's really my best return is going to be in whatever I do. And I don't believe. I mean, I have friends of mine that have been very successful in crypto, and it's just a roller coaster right now. I think there's no real plan right now where hype is. You cannot run a business based on hype.
I got you. No, that's a fact. Okay, so tell me now for the future generation of fashion designers, right? Because I know in the beginning you required the licensing deals with the NBA, NHL, and MLB and stuff like that. So today, how can a young fashion designer obtain a licensing deal? Or what do you think the best practice would be, or one practice would be for them to do?
I probably cannot help you with that, because it's a little bit difficult. Like I said, in general, as a design, forget about licensing or anything like that, or collaborations. I mean, today it's a little bit bigger than just simply having a licensing. It's just about collaboration with good brands, and you have to be unique. You have to create your own, like I said, and I repeat myself, you have to create your own lane. You have to create something that nobody has done. If you're just going to go and you're going to put a t-shirt and you're going to sorry.
No, take your time, no worries.
Okay, so in today's, you have to be unique. You cannot create your own. You have to create your own lane, like I said before, and you cannot just go out and say, let's take Supreme and made the shirt, and you're going to sell for Supreme. You're going to make it Joe Blow, same little lettering, and expect to become a success. You're going to do business. And some people might want to do it. Then there's a price and a market for everything. There's a price to buy a taco on the truck, and there's a price to go to Spago and pay $150 or $200 a dinner, or whatever, or more. So there is and it's food and food. You can buy a Timex for $20 or whatever, a watch for $20, or you can buy a Richard Mille for $300.
Right.
So I mean, each one is both of them feed you, both of them give you the time, and both of them will clothe you. So will be a shirt or a shirt. So the idea is you create an identity, create a story, you have to create a story. You have to create your own DNA that represents you. Let's say if you're an artist and you have a certain heritage, you want to go after that heritage. Maybe you're going after certain things and certain colors, certain themes, and create something that is a real reflection of you. And lucky enough, I mean, I've been doing it for more than 40 years, to be able to create something that really, that vibe with me. When I design a jacket, I'm happy with it. I mean, it's just something that I would wear. That's something that makes me happy. And I'm not saying sometimes, maybe I only reach 1% of the people, but the 1% that vibe with me are my customer base. I mean, not everybody can spend $5,000 on a leather jacket. Not everybody can spend. Nobody wants to wear a super flashy jacket like this. I mean, it's just. But the right people, my right customer that looks at it and they see the history. They see the history. They wear the same jacket that Kobe Bryant wore when he won his championship. Or this one is something that has been shown in the video that with Dave East or Benny the Butcher or Tiny and Yandel or J Balvin. Those are the things that we put together.
Gotcha. Okay. So it seems like you're a workaholic. You don't stop. You haven't stopped in about 45 years. What's the work-life balance like? Like, what do you do to relax and chill and unwind? Or just none of that?
My best relaxation and my best happiness is working.
I mean, that's not work-life balance. You're working and working some more.
Yeah, no, because my work. Listen, even when I live a pretty good life. I travel a lot. You know, I live a luxury life.
Right.
And when I'm I'm on a boat, or I'm at a party, and like Saturday night at Drake's Artist of the Year, I came home at 4:00. I'm enjoying myself, but I'm also working.
Right, networking.
It's not like I'm networking. It's not like it's a process. I work 24 hours a day.
I get that.
You know, if I wake up at 2:00 in the morning or 3:00 in the morning and I see somebody texts me, I answer it. It's just not like I'm not on a schedule of work, eat, relax. This is my life. I want to live my life. I live my life the way that's me. That's why my product is a reflection of what I do. Whether it's art, whether it's my networking, whether it's my personality, whether it's my designs. And I just want to make the most, one of the main things that I like to do as I'm getting older, I'm 65 years old, and for me,
look a day over like 40. Look at him, man, handsome man.
For me, it's about maximizing my potential. I don't want to be on my deathbed and say, Jeff, you know what? You should have done that. You didn't do that. You should have made that. No, if I have an idea, I write down all the ideas that I have, and I just want to put my thoughts into reality, and I want to maximize. And let's say I want to live 1,000 years in a lifetime. So instead of living my 75 or 60 or 70 years, whatever, I don't know, whatever God wants me to have in, I just want to maximize it. If I can live 3 days in one day, I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to do as much as I can. And I don't believe in laziness. I don't believe in not being proactive in everything that you do. I believe in being being very proactive and getting things done, and just respect of the people that are around with you and your families, and keeping up all the values that God gave you.
Right, no, absolutely.
And never taking that for granted, because you never know if you're going to be here tomorrow morning. Never take it for granted.
That's a fact, man. We lost a lot of people, man. Rest in peace, DMX, man, Black Rob. I mean, all the greats we lost.
Absolutely.
Shock G. Yeah, it's just crazy out here, man. Speaking of that, I know you mentioned you talk a lot about legacy and having your brand live on after your passing. Knock on wood. Are you preparing, because you have children, right? You have heirs to the throne. Who are you molding to take over this?
I'm not molding anybody to do it right now. So this is not in the books right now. If it happens, it happened. Right now, I'm not. If my legacy is there, who knows? Maybe as I tell you, I'm getting old. Maybe I'll sell the company in a couple of years, and maybe I'll run the company till they want me to run it.
Right. Now that makes sense. Okay.
But I'm not ready to stop working anytime soon. So.
Right. Speaking of that, so what's next for the Jeff Hamilton brand? Now we know you do jackets. Are you graduating to other accessories, bags?
No, listen. When I own Guess Jeans, I own the men's and as a founder of Guess Jeans and Guess Women, I did the whole lifestyle brand. So right now I'm bringing Jeff Hamilton to a lifestyle brand completely, and right now we've been very exclusive. We're not selling to any stores right now by design. Doing a lot of collaboration. We'll probably have about 15 to 20 collaboration on the books with a lot of very, very, very big European brands, all well known. But our first launch again on the wholesale market, we have an exclusive deal with the Neiman Marcus.
Okay.
So we're going to be in 39 Neiman Marcus hopefully in the next by fall.
Congratulations.
And then we are going to be launching the wholesale business again, which was always my main business. But right now, I just want to make it a little bit more exclusive. That if anybody wants something, they have to be done only through the e-commerce platforms.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, I think the fact that you're doing everything all in-house and not, I guess, spreading it so thin where it's everywhere is what's holding its value. So I think that's a great idea. And you new fashion designers take notes of that. And speaking of new fashion designers, tell me if you had any piece of advice you can give to somebody who said, I want to be a fashion designer today. What kind of advice can you give?
First of all, there's two ways. I have a new, there's a new app that's launching on June 3rd, but I'm going to be on June 11th. It's called Bright Lives.
Okay.
So they can go in, and basically I'm going to be doing a conference at least once a month.
Okay.
Only, I think it's only 100 people can do it. I think it's not expensive. I think it's $20 for the hour, and if anybody can ask me personal questions to me. It's going to be like a Zoom type conference with 100 people. It's under Bright Lives. You can download the app and check it, and it's all kind of different areas. So, but basically, again, just be yourself and apply the four elements and be unique, and try to dig into yourself to figure out what is your talent, and maximize and expand on your talent.
No, that's great advice, man. Yeah, I definitely, recommend you guys, follow this guy, do some history on him, man, and just do your homework on everything that he's achieved and done, and that in itself is motivational and should, keep you pumping.
And anybody can always DM me. I mean, I know it's people, all my friends think I'm a little crazy. I get, I have 2.2 million followers on Instagram.
I saw that.
I get 500 DMs a day. I answer every one of them. And people say, "Are you crazy? I mean, where do you find the time to do it?" I say, "Well, that's my way of kind of like, I'm not saying giving back, but that's where that feeds my passion."
Yeah.
And I'm staying in touch with my fans and the people who love my work, and I'm very appreciative of, because I've had good times and bad times. So when during the bad times, you don't forget, when the good times come along, again, you don't forget the bad times. So you want to be appreciative of every little crumb that's on the table. You want to make sure you address it. So any young designer that has an idea, they want to DM me, they want to drive. If I can give it to them, I will. If I cannot, I won't.
Right. Okay. Is there anyone that you haven't made a jacket for that you would want to make a jacket for?
I have not made a jacket for the Pope yet.
Oh, wow. I did not expect that. Okay, the Pope.
Yeah, but I've done jackets pretty much. I mean, I pride myself in the fact that, it might sound very pretentious when somebody asks me that question. But the other day, I did an interview, and somebody asked me like that exact same question. And I was like, actually, no, when I know it was an interview, I was at Chris Brown and Wale's video.
Okay.
And one of the managers said, "We're here to help you. Who can we put you together that you have not done work with?" And it took me like a few minutes, and I felt like embarrassed because I
couldn't answer, right?
Couldn't answer. I mean, I pretty much have everything. And
that's a good answer to have, though. that you did everything for everybody.
But it sounds like you're pretentious, that you are so
big,
like there's nobody, and just still want to work with a few people more, but but so I always look for like every new artist, every new person that there is, every hot stuff that comes in, every new athletes, they reach out to me, and I want to be in the culture, so it doesn't matter. Like if somebody is just like, and I'm going the culture not only through athletes and hip hop artists and Latin artists and movie stars and celebrity alike. I mean, I've done work honoring some of the great icons, drug dealers of the 90s in Holland.
Yeah.
Like Rich Porter. I mean, things like that, that those guys that, might have been drug dealers, but, at the time, they might have only sold weed, but they were, it looked like it was taboo, but, and those guys, they were part of the culture, no matter what, whether you want it. So for me, I'm honoring icons like that as well, because they had their influence into making the designs of the streets, because they had their voice was heard in the street the same way Jordan was heard in the street, or Dr. Dre, or even R. Kelly. I mean, everybody had their or Cameron. I mean, or the Dipset. I mean, those. That's a combination. It's like you're preparing a beautiful dish, and you have every little ingredient that you're putting in, and you have this one and that one, and then when everything is all mixed up together and cooked up for 30 years, you taste and it tastes delicious.
Right.
That's it. And that's the history of our culture.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a fantastic job, man. And we talked a little bit off camera about this potential documentary on your story that needs to be done. And I had a few conversations with a few directors on your behalf trying to put it together. But you mentioned something that stood out to me. You wanted to highlight the rise, the fall, and the rise again of it.
Right.
So that rise again, without sharing too much detail and giving up what happened, but what was that downtime like for you? Like when I say downtime, I mean like the pitfall, what you went through, the worst of time.
It's different. I mean, it's just a lot of different things. A lot of personal issues, divorce, kids, disappointments. Like I said earlier, I touched jealousy, envy. People want to get to the point directly without making the effort. Stealing from you. And when people steal from you, you go through lawyers and you get into the system while you go into the system, you still want to keep up the life. You still want to have the Rolls Royce and you still want to have the Bentleys and the fancy cars and the lifestyle. And then at some point in time, you cannot keep up with it. And so you start like downgrade and you lose your identity and you're so stressed out with everything that you have and you're not become yourself. So a couple of years ago, I basically had a clean cut of everything. I just put everything aside and say, I'm clean. I don't owe money to nobody. Nobody owes me money. I'm clean. I'm just going in and I'm doing whatever I like to do as long as my bills are paid. And that's, to this day, I don't owe money to nobody. Nobody owes me money. And I'm working much smaller. This company could be 50 times bigger right now, but I'm controlling it. And I'm in full control, as you can see. I do my own accounting. I've only 4 or 5 employees right now. I could have 100 employees if I wanted to, but it's just not where I want to be right now because, again, the motivation is not necessarily just the money. The money is a big part of it, but it's not it. For me, I want to be able to go and go home at 2 o'clock and sleep, not go home at 2 o'clock and worry about what's going to happen and how am I going to pay my bill tomorrow, or how am I going to do this, how am I going to do that. So it's all about balancing your life to your own needs and the way you want to feel.
Right, absolutely. What does retirement look like for you? What do you see yourself? Where do you want to, on an island somewhere, just chilling, or probably working more?
Yeah, it's gonna be my last breath. That's gonna be when I'm ready to go. That's gonna be my retirement. Whether I don't work in the fashion business anymore, and that my retirement has to be to create art, to create. I just want to create. That's what will give me the most happiness and fulfillment. Just to be always contributing to my own thing. I mean, not necessarily just to create, just to make money. Just create. If God gave me a gift or gave me gifts to do certain things, I want to make my vision and my ideas to life. And like I said, for me, this is where I want to do. Whether it's helping people out, my dedication might become to go out and help out other people. And if that's my dedication in the next few years, and God blesses me with the money and the know-how and the tools to do it, so that will be it. But for me to lay in the beach, in the beach and have beautiful boats and cars and a lifestyle, it's not really my priority. It's not that. I've had it my whole life. My whole life I lived like a billionaire without being one, and I probably live better than any billionaire that I've known.
Right.
I've the experience of my life, the people I got to meet in my life, I don't think very few people have. When I've done stuff for Nelson Mandela and all the presidents and the kings and every single celebrity you can meet. Michael Jackson, I used to rent a house to his brother. And when I was 25 years old, it's not like, so I've been living that lifestyle for the longest time. I was invited at Drake's party on Sunday. I saw him on Monday and I saw him last night again. So last night I was at a restaurant. I was with, he was there. I was talking to Babyface. Paris Hilton was there. Joe Jonas was there. Sylvester Stallone was there. So I know all those people. For me, it's just kind of like, and not that I'm going out and throwing names out, but listen.
But these are your peers.
It's not my peers. I'm still a little kid that was born in Casablanca, Morocco, and I still pinch myself. Listen, when I meet a celebrity, I mean, it's not my peers. I mean, my heart beats.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I mean, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I mean, for me, I'm still excited to take that picture. I mean, and some more than others.
Right.
You know, like I mean, for instance, when I meet Tyson, I met him 150 times. I've had lunch, dinner, but when I'm with him, I mean, I can feel like I'm a kid. And when I'm with Michael Jordan, when I was with Muhammad Ali, or when I was hanging with Kobe, or even President Clinton or President Obama. I mean, for me, those are like things that just my heart beats, you know. But those are the things that make me happy.
No, and that's so cool to hear that you're that humble, and you have a lot of humility, and I love to see that, because the way you feel about when you're around Michael Jordan and Drake is how I feel right now around you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like because you're humble. Me, I like to act comfortable around people. Not to alert them, but inside, I'm super excited for this opportunity, and it's like, but I can respect and I look up to you being as humble as you are and the positioning you are. I mean, it just makes the future look that much brighter to me and give me more of a mindset to have when I achieve the level of success that I want.
I never want to lose. This is an aspect of my personality that I don't lose. Like, I never want to feel like I'm entitled to anything. I want to feel like every little thing that I do, I'm earning every single time. I just don't want to take nothing for granted ever. Because it can be gone in a second. And I've experienced it in my life multiple times. And I've earned it in a second as well. Right. So it's the blessings that you get. And like I said, you don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow morning. So for me, I try to maximize all the time that I have on this earth. And like I say, if I can leave 3-4 days per day, if I can put 100 hours in a 24 day and squeeze it in, I'm going to do it. So when people say, how long would you like to live? I'll live for 1,000 years. Yeah. Because I'll make sure my mark is 1,000 years of work.
Right. That's awesome, man. Well, man, listen, it was an honor to speak with you today. And just come and do my podcast. I mean, you're contributing to my dream right now. This is episode 116. It took 116 episodes to get to this man right here. But that's time, effort, and dedication to what I want to do. So you take that same grind, that same energy, and apply it to what you want to do. And I have no doubt you'll be as successful as you want to be, or even bigger than that.
Yeah, those who reach, that's just ours. Don't forget.
Bars. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. I am your host, Jonni Vegaz, the great Jeff Hamilton. Stay tuned for more episodes to come. Thank you for watching. And he said you could DM him, so go ahead and flood that DM now. I'm just playing.
No problem.
Stay tuned for more episodes to come. Thank you for watching. Make sure you go ahead and buy some merch. Make sure you get yourself one of these jackets, and go ahead and like and subscribe. Right at the bottom, right here. Boom. My brother.
I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 million every week. I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 billion every week. I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire. I wanna be a billionaire.